was the price of your crown?
Die! I want you to die.
Soon enough I'll be dead. And you'll be king.
I don't want anything from you. You're not a man. You're not my father.
You are my son, and you have always known my mind.
You deceived me.
You let yourself be deceived. But in your heart, you always knew what had to happen here. At last, you know what it means to hate. Now you're ready to be a king.
My hate will die with you.
Just like a G, you know? Trouble what's qualified. Before they do it. I wake up and go get me some new money. You know I'm living like a G. These little niggas ain't gonna take nothing from me. You know we do it like a G. I swear to God, I fuck on anyone. Just like a gangster, just like a G.
Hey, welcome to the Chit podcast. I'm your host, G Chili. Wanted to jump on here and talk about a couple things. Before I start getting into the topics, there was a saying, the greatest trick the devil ever played is to make people think he didn't exist. Right? And as I sit here in 2025 and I listen to the conversations that's going on around us, and I'm like, one of my problems is I'm always surprised at how people are still confused about what the fuck people are doing. I had a buddy who reached out to say something to me. And I said to him, like, bro, think about all of the conversations we had. Why are you still confused about this? And it dawned on me that fundamentally, things that I take as a given, most people refuse to accept. And that's what allows the chaos to grow and get bigger, is because no one pays attention to it early enough. So before I get into the things that I want to, it's a bunch of shit I want to talk about, but I can't talk about everything. I got real work to do. I got real work to do. I'm not a podcaster for a living. I like a podcast because I like it. I like doing this shit. It's fun. This is it's a hobby. It's like fishing for me right now. But what I'm probably gonna have to rework this quote about what did I say the quote was? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he didn't exist. Similar to that trick the devil pulled, the greatest trick that the Western empires pull is convincing the people that they're the problem. Everyone spends the entirety of their existence trying to gain favor from the people who are oppressing them. And going through this cyclical conversation of trying to find compassion that won't ever fucking exist. And it'd be like, it blows my mind every time a news story pops up. A horrific story pops up. And people are like, I can't believe this is happening. And then I'll be sitting there like, we're watching a fucking live stream genocide. They're murdering an entire nation of people that way. What do you mean you don't think this type of evil could happen to you? Do you realize what they're doing? Trump is blowing up boats that are sailing through the Caribbean and saying that I can kill the people there because I say they got drugs on them. He ain't got to land on a boat. I say it's drugs when they kill everybody. Fuck them niggas. The people who construct a system like that You don't think that they can do what we're seeing with ICE or with these other departments? People talking about the ICE coming into Chicago. So I saw this video. I'm not going to play the whole video.
So I'm gonna need you to explain it to me like I'm 10. I want you to really break this down to me like I'm 10 years old and tell me why ICE agents zip tying black babies in Chicago, because I can't for the life of me understand why this happened. Why was this necessary? These are black babies.
So he says, and no fault to the brother, because maybe most people are just more decent than me. Maybe I'm not a decent person. Okay. I have a certain core that has a certain aptitude for acceptance of me delivering violence. Maybe I'm not a decent person. But when he says, I don't understand how this can happen. I can explain to you how it can happen, bro. I can explain to how it can happen when you have convinced yourself, when you have allowed, just like the devil, the greatest trick the devil ever played is to make people think he didn't exist. The greatest trick the Western empires did were to make the people who they were oppressing think that they were somehow the problem. You have people in Chicago who somehow like to say shit like, I'm on demon time. Niggas say they on demon time. No, you're not. You're not on demon time, bro. But we think that the people in the projects committing petty violence is somehow more violent than the person who forces them there and keeps them there. You're living there because they won't let you live somewhere else, but somehow you think you're violent? Because you don't even understand that paradigm. That's how you don't understand how that can happen. The problem, bro, the reason that they can put that kid in zip ties is because you're not violent enough. That's the truth. Because the reality is, this God is my witness. If God himself came down here and put my daughter in the zip tie, he better keep me in that shit. Better keep me in it. You put my kid in a zip tie, you better never let me out of mine. That's the reality, bro. That's the reality that people on this don't want to get their minds around. I don't get how you don't get your mind around. They're rubbing it in. I'm not, and this is not me telling people, by the way, to go do crazy shit. All right, let me preface that. But there's a difference between going to do crazy shit and refusing to let crazy shit happen to you. And I, for one, just refuse to let crazy shit happen to me. You could do all the crazy shit you want to do. Go balls to the wall wherever you want to go at. But when I'm near, calm that shit down, bro. That's how I operate. I don't understand how people don't get that at this point when they see what's happening. The reason that everyone is testing the limits of the next step that they're going to be allowed to go to. So you got the ICE. We're giving ICE sniper rifles now. We're sending National Guards uninvited into other states. So you can. I mean, we're basically pre-positioning troops. Like, there's not going to be a civil war in the country, but if there was going to be one, this is how you would do it. I mean, the government had been putting its foot on the black community's neck since forever. They never took it off. And that's why I say the greatest trick the oppressor or the Western Empire, and when I say Western Empire, to be specific, I literally mean white supremacy, white hegemony that has coated the planet for about the last 500 years. And if you just look at a map of everywhere the Western empires went, where they put their foot down, took a foothold, either the people there are still oppressed or the people there are no longer there. And so everywhere they went, we have been basically living in a false dichotomy, I'll call it, of you really got brothers walking around these streets thinking that they're somehow vicious. And that's why me personally, a cat could be a risk, something bad could happen. But bro, you not vicious, bro. And that's what if nothing else comes out of this video that anybody takes anything away from, I want every person to know you're not vicious. You're not violent. You're not any of the things. You're not on demon time. You're not on any of that time. You're living in a state of desperation. You're living in a state of instability. And you haven't been given the tools, the mental tools that's needed to withstand, to have the fortitude to navigate your way through all of the issues that they throw at us. Is it your fault? Partly. Is it all your fault? No. But we have to take blame for the fact that we refuse, collectively, we refuse to embrace some of the tools we need to have to navigate this better than we do. Will we navigate it perfectly? No. But will we navigate it better than we have, at least since what I've witnessed in my lifetime? Fuck yeah. But like I told my homie when he was talking to me, I said, bro, stop telling me. I said, bro, just think about all the shit I told you over the years that you argue with me about. Now, I've been trying to tell you this for 20 fucking years, nigga. But it wasn't wavy enough at the time to be on that time. You wasn't ready to receive that message, and that's all good. I ain't trying to get baptized today either. But if somebody is giving you information from about the system you're in, it's wise to kind of make sure, even if you don't accept it, fucking make sure you retain it. And that's the key. That's the point from Chit today on this, what's happening with what some of the videos I saw on ICE. I don't want to belabor the point. I can come back to it later. It's late, and I just wanted to make sure I said something about it. The video is going to be fucking choppy. It's going to be like, I ain't just none of this shit I do is planned. I just be talking. I don't give a fuck. I bet the next thing, I probably got to stop cursing too. Maybe I should stop cursing. I think about it. The next, what was on my mind? Shit. That's why I gotta write stuff down. I literally was just working a moment ago. I just turned over this way. I got three laptops over here. Let me go over here and talk about the shit I was thinking about. Hold on a second. Oh yeah. Aisha Carey. Come on, why you doing my boy like that? And I respect Steph, so I'm not going to get over here and start talking all crazy about his wife, calling her all kinds of names. But I want to play this video.
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life.
Did you talk to Steph about it?
He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of it's effing stupid. It's not true. So why are you? And I'm like, but wait, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughters so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a career and I'm
Yeah.
not home, like did you experience that?
I still experience
Okay.
that. I still experience that. I'm always in therapy talking about this. If you lose all of those things that were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel.
Trying to say is she was wrapping up the segment when she was saying, not wrap, that clip wraps up with her saying she kind of lost everything that was interesting about herself. She likes being a mom. She didn't say, I like being a wife. I like being married to Steph. And I'm like, yo, the only person who comes out to throw their husband under the bus more than her was Jada. And Jada might have had pretty. I'd be like, you know what? Jada probably wasn't too wrong for that. Probably she was wrong, but she might not have been too wrong. I'm like, Steph, I don't see why you would want to come out there and keep throwing smut on his name. I'm like, yo, I respect him. I'll say that. I respect Steph because I'd have put her through the ringer by now. Oh, you think you lost yourself already? Oh, man. Keep doing these interviews. Huh? Keep doing these interviews about me. Yo, let me stop. I'm joking. But nah, my thing is this. I think that people, I had a conversation with some grown adults with kids. You know, not just adults, like adults with kids. And I said, it's our fault because I said, we are dealing with multiple generations of people who raise people with unrealistic expectations, right? Some people get realistic expectations, some don't. And I have a belief that it's going to be hard for me to let go. Is that it goes back to, like I like to say, the Biggie song. Get my daughter this college plan so she doesn't need no man. I think that's the most dangerous thing that we've done, is instilling in our daughters that they don't need a man. Because we would never instill in our sons they don't need a woman. No, we instill in our sons, get all the women, get your woman and be extra good to her, extra great to her. You know what I mean? We don't never. The only time you get a little bit of the you don't need a woman, and it doesn't really even be you don't need a woman. It'd be like with Jaden Daniels and his mother, where she's trying to keep the hunters off of him. So she's trying to block him and protect her naive son, or who she thinks is naive. You know what I'm saying? I think that we raised so many generations of our sisters like that we're living with that result now, where someone who's been with a man since high school and watched him go to the places he went, and he never left her for the secretary. He took her and put her in position. He even tried to get her to do all of the things she wanted. And she's like, I wanted a career. And I'm like, you can't get a nanny? You can't get a nanny? So if you wanted a career, you can't get a nanny. If the career ain't taking off, maybe you lucky you with Steph, because maybe it might not have popped off the way you wanted it to pop off, because you Steph's wife. So every opportunity is elevated. And if you weren't able to turn those opportunities into something, then you should be more thankful. You should be more thankful that that man loves you and got your back 100. And like I said, I respect Steph, so I ain't gonna sit here and say anything negative. The first words that came to my mind when I was listening to her, but I just think that you owe people more if they do it. If you owe people more, especially like it ain't like he I think she owed him way more than she given him. From if I was in a childhood relationship with someone, and I'm a man, if I was in a childhood relationship with someone and that relationship lasted into my 40s, and that person took off and went to heights that we could have never dreamed about, and me and her maintained our relationship and it grew through the different phases, I think that I would speak more positively of this person when I spoke about him. I wouldn't speak about myself, because it's very easy to just, most people leave people on the way. So when people take you with them, I think you should appreciate that. That's my opinion. That's G Chit opinion. That's G Chili's opinion. And this is G Chit, where I come on here to talk. If you come here to listen, you like what I say. Or you might not like what I say. You might be like, fuck that. You wouldn't say it to my. Nah, you probably would. But you couldn't do nothing about it. Let me stop it. Anyway, let me what was the last thing I was thinking? I was thinking 3 things. Give me a second, people. I'm old. Oh, my good brother. Okay, that's what it was. I'm gonna have to talk about this on the second segment, because we're approaching. I think with this G Chit shit, I think I'm gonna try to keep this like around 30 minutes a segment episode. So I want to talk about Kyron Lacey. You know what? I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna try to come back up this week. I'm gonna try doing an episode on Kyron. I'm gonna talk about this Kyron Lacey situation. I'm talk about this Kyron. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna leave you out with this. This is your president, people.
With great emotion. She actually indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
Sir, I just want to confirm. It's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper, I believe that's what took place.
She loved it. She loved it. I want the collective ether to gather the message. On the Mentality podcast one time, I put up a book by Pablo Freire called The Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Let me see if I can. Oh shit! Let me see if I can add it over here. The Pedagogy of the Oppressed. It's a book that talks about. It's a book that talks about people in an oppressed condition have no way to really get out of that oppressed condition until the people who doing the oppression, something breaks in them or clicks in them, and they themselves just viscerally can no longer accept seeing what they're doing. So it's like if somebody has their foot on your neck and your hands are tied and your feet are nailed down, there's nothing you could do to get the foot off your neck. The only way that foot comes off your neck is through some kind of mystical magic, or the person who is putting the foot there says, you know what, maybe I should let him breathe a little more. And where we're at right now is the person who put the foot on the neck has put boots on and tightened them because they see that their 500-year reign of Western empires have ended. And I was going to end this episode here, but now that I'm talking, fuck it, I'm going to just keep going a little bit longer. Let me just pull up my map. And what do I mean when I say that? I need to make a G Chili's 500-year map. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. All right, bet. Anyway, from the time that Columbus left out of Spain, right? From the time that Columbus left out of Spain, empires passed from one Western European nation to the other. So it went from Spain to Portugal, from Portugal to France, from France to the English and the Dutch, or the Netherlands they call it, and went like back and forth between the French and the English, and then you add in the Germans. So every so many years, the control switched, but it switched to the same Western civilization, just a different nation or a different company. It would be like picking between Taco Bell, Burger King, Popeyes, and McDonald's. It's just American companies. Who's the favorite for this year? America still makes money. So then after all of that fell, the power went to America. So that means that everything that happens on planet Earth, every decision, every nation, every resource, every commodity is quantified and evaluated and assigned a valuation based on what the Western empires think, first and foremost, which is why Africa could be so poor. I was reading something the other day where there's a French company that did the mining in Niger for uranium, and they want to take the country of Niger to court because they said they have 15,000, I think, or 1,500 tons of uranium that they mined and never took out the country. And they're saying that since we did the work of mining and packaging it, we either have to be paid for it or given it. And this is like when slave owners was forced to free their slaves, and the countries would pay the slave owner. Like, you shouldn't have had slaves anyway, nigga. But since you had them, here, take this money. You shouldn't have been raping Niger and robbing them of the uranium and doing bad contracts with corrupt leaders. But what really got me, and I'll bring up the article because I wanted to do a whole show on that. I'm not going to bring it up now because, like I said, I just jumped on just to do this little conversation. So if you don't like the show, if you think this shit is choppy, I don't give. Like I said, fuck your monetization. I'm not here for that. But the thing is, what got me in the article was that they said that since 62, they said 70,000 tons of uranium was taken out of Niger. And so I thought to myself, I said, fuck. I said, if they took 70,000 tons of uranium, how much other shit did they take? And then after they take this shit, they call you broke. They called Niger. America had Niger listed as either the most poorest or the second poorest nation on planet Earth. So you watch this country get butt fucked, raped, took, and then you call it poor. That's the trick the devil plays. He don't exist. You not getting raped. You not getting robbed. That's my uranium. That's my gold. That's my oil, nigga. You broke, nigga. Move aside. This my land. I discovered it. You wasn't living here. You're dead. Whose cemeteries? That's the trick the oppressor plays. The same trick the devil plays in making you think he doesn't exist. The oppressor is committed. There's never going to be compassion. He's committed. And what you got to understand is you're not as violent as you think you are. You're not on demon time the way you think you are. Or at least you're not the way you need to be. You point and shoot at the wrong people. I'm out of here.
Real niggas stand up, we handle business. Keep it real to up to tell you on the real list. Little bit mad, man, key, tight shit. 12 outside my house, cause I'm rich. Nigga been getting sprayed, they know how we playin'. Got out Halloween, but I'm no demon, baby. Niggas rats, I'm a bad father cause I raised them. Cause I made them. Yeah. I real love in my face. Peace and blessings on my face. Let my love spread, this ain't no phase. Blaming Jesus off of my face. My real brothers contribute to my pain. I'm putting racks up every single day. I've been coping, spending every day. I've been decent, living out of space. I came from nothing, now we made it to the top. New Rose rest with icing on the rocks, yeah. You a boss, just flex, you can do it. The next time I see you, we can do it. You say that you love me, then prove it. Yeah, the road respect you gotta charge. Keep it presidential just like your wives. I can see you love me when I look into your eyes. You popping out with me on a Thursday. Bought you a house, it ain't in your birthday. I'm trying to do your pussy the worst way. Come on, baby. She said she hear a nigga crying. How the fuck you hear tears? I went on to but I was lying. I've been pushing this shit for years.